Hey, how's it going? It's me, Ricky Stewart, and we are here to do hand balances and calisthenic skills, and pistol squats, and good quality shoulder health so that we can use our mobility and our strength to be able to express it in interesting, exciting ways. That's what makes me train. It's what makes me turn up, is being able to do handstands and cartwheels and be able to hang off of things and swing around. I love that stuff. It makes me excited. It makes me want to turn up and learn more and do more. And hopefully you feel the same way as well. So let's just start us off with a little bit of mobility stuff. And I love these wrist cars. So if you just go elbows into your rib cage and go palms up and down, like this. It's just palms up and down, that's it. Fingers don't move, fingers stay in line with your palms. So have a look, straight line from here to here. Palms go up, palms go down, palms go up, palms go down. One side contracts, the other side lengthens. One side lengthens, the other contracts. Keep this going. That's it. And then try this with the fist. So you're trying to make stuff stretch and one side contract on the other. That's it. It's tough. And then if we look at shoulder stuff, so pick this arm up, we'll do some shoulder cars. I like having my thumb against my sternum, my fingers around my rib cage, and squeezing this elbow in. Pull back with your hand, point your thumb forwards, drag it down and back, up your back, straighten out, around, forwards, and back. And just make this kind of easy at first. I'm going to get into making it hard. And just see if you can follow me. Comes up, thumb points across your head, internal rotation as you go up, behind your back, straighten out, bring it back, around. Yes. There we go. And then try the other side, thumb against your sternum, fingers around your rib cage, squeeze your elbow into your ribs. Arm goes up, thumb points across your head, thumb points forwards. Chill up your back, turn it around, back again. That's it. Keep this moving. There's got to be a little bit of effort involved, but leave it reasonably easy. That's it. Yes. Okay, and then just hold your fists here and imagine like you've got two really heavy dumbbells. You're going to irradiate everything, so make your fists strong, squeeze, and mime this heavy shoulder press, and reach it up and make it heavy on the way back down as well. See if you can pull elbows into your rib cage, thumbs against your shoulders, and push back up, back down, back up, back down, back up. Don't let any energy leak out, make it strong. And last one. It's tiring. Then cross your arms over your chest like this, do a little bit of spine work. So you curl over, lengthen everything in down your back, and then go chest up. And you're going to keep your head over the top of your feet. So, if your head goes like this, goes forwards of your feet, you've lost it. If your head goes back like this, goes behind your feet, you've lost it. So you keep your head kind of still. You make your spine go as flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Like this. Keep breathing. Last one. Yes. And then, because we're going to do some pistol squats, let's have a little look at some hip cars. Let me just change this down a little bit. So, hip cars, go, there we go. Pick this knee up, knee out to the side, heel up, knee back, knee to knee up. And this is important, this knee up where this hip flexor performs. Knee outside, heel up, knee back, knee to knee up. That's it. this going. Yes, a couple more. Awesome. Then swap legs. So knee up, knee out, heel up, knee back, knee to knee, knee up. That's it. Keep this big toe pressed down. Try and find all these corners of where your hip could possibly move. Trying to keep your balance. Yes. Right. So, let's have a little look at pistol squats first, as a thing. I'm going to change this again. Come on. There we go. That's much better. Right. So, can you balance on your foot? Please sit into a little quarter squat as this foot reaches forwards. Quarter squat here. Try and find your balance. Try and find your big toe on the floor. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And tense your bum to stand up. Try the same with the leg. A quarter squat, not even a half squat. Make this hip flexor on, make the muscle in your belly on, feel the outside of this hip, and stand back up. And again, looking for this hip, looking for this glute to turn on. Find the structure and be able to explore it a little bit, and back up. And then you start teasing yourself lower and lower. If you fall over, I think you should let yourself fall over. You should learn how to fall and how to fall softly. So, sitting, sitting, sitting. See, you can sit all the way down. If you fall over, let yourself fall, roll back. See if you can bring yourself back up. If you can't, roll back. See, bring yourself back up. Yes, I've got it. And try and drive this hip forward. So, let's spin it back around again and start from the beginning of what I want you to do. I want to find this glute, find it on, find it strong, stand up tall, tense your bum muscle, and sit as low as you dare. If you fall over, falling over is okay as long as you're not going to hurt yourself from something that's behind you or anything like that. So keep sitting, keep sitting, keep sitting, keep this structure. See if you can sit balanced. If you don't, you just fall over backwards and refine the shape. Even if you use your hands, like however your hands help, it's cool. See if you can balance and see if you can start pushing yourself up. And finding the strength to grip on, to be able to fight out of the bottom of that is good. You might need to just sit in the effort. So sit in the irradiation, that pushing against a brick wall. That even if you know you're not going to be able to lift, you can connect to the right tissue. You've got that neuromuscular connection to the muscles to be able to make them do the thing. So we're still on the same leg. Stand up tall, push your toes down, and see how low you can sit. Even if you don't dare sit any lower than this, see if you can sit. And then tense your bum, stand back up. Getting this hamstring to do stability will help. And stand back up. And if you can get lower, see if you can own this all the way down and all the way up. And that would be great if you can. Okay, let's try this on the other side and just slow it down and see if you can sit in this connection to the stuff. So toes push down and you sit just a little bit. Ready? Bounce around with it. Make this hip flexor on. Sit and sit and sit. And see if you can push back up. If you fall over, it's okay. Falling over is allowed. Failure is allowed because it's this trying to persuade your body that you've got enough to be able to make stuff happen. And persuasion of new stuff happening, like new skills coming in, because that's what this is, it's calisthenic skills. So, back to this same leg again that you've just done. Balance a little bit. Start sitting, start sitting. Grip on, drive hips through, tense your bum at the top. Try and make this glute turn on strong. Okay, still on the same leg. Sit, low as you dare. And then stand back up. Sit as low as you dare, and stand back up. If it's all the way down, can you stand back up? That is the stuff. And then, let's just circle all the way back to the beginning again and work out how your structure is and what is missing from your structure. No matter where you were, whether you were just sitting down a little bit, standing back up, we're going to work it out. So, have a think about this, hips Axial rotation. Can you turn your knee out, turn your knee across your body, turn your knee out, turn your knee across your body. And just keep playing around with this. Hip turns out, hip turns in, hip turns out, hip turns in. That's it. And feel this bum muscle when you turn your knee out. Make it connect. Feel that isometric contraction when you just sit in this shallow pistol squat. Push your big toe down and feel this glute medius pull your knee out. You don't want this to go empty and for your hip to find stability on internal rotation, because that doesn't work. Make this stuff on and keep it on as you sit. Keep it on as you sit. This muscle here, keep it on as you sit. Keep it on, keep it on, keep it on. And then find that again to be able to push you back up. All this stuff, all these skills that I do that I can make look reasonably easy, that I can push out for reps like handstand push-ups, it comes from my connection to a lot of muscle groups. I'm just efficient at the movement. I'm kind of strong, but I'm not really strong. I'm not gymnastic strong. I'm not a competing level athlete strong for this stuff. I'm just kind of strong because I'm good at twisting and pushing and pulling all at the same time, so that I can make big, strong structures out of each joint, out of every joint. So have a think about that on the other side. So other leg, internal, external rotation. And feel as this external rotation happens, the outside of this hip turns on. If you push your foot down into the floor and balance, if you bounce a little bit, you should be able to feel that this shallow bit where you're not even barely in a squat, you're barely squatting down yet, toes pushing, feel this stuff. See if you can sit, push. If you watch yourself in a mirror, your hip will try and find stability. And for so many people, that stability is found when that hip turns in, like an internal rotation, like this, and your knee starts pointing across your body. It's not a bad thing, we need that if you change direction. Internal rotation is really important. But for a pistol squat and for all squatting, I want to see more strength from this glute medius, these muscles from the outside of your hip. If you can access them and train them to get stronger, movements like this get stronger. So, if you just do a body weight squat with me, just push your toes down, twist your feet into the floor. So like you're trying to turn your knees out. Sit your bum down a little bit, bounce on your knees a bit. Maybe even use your hands to feel what muscles are on in your glutes. Make them on and see how long you can keep them on as you sit and stand back up. And connect to it all the way down, all the way up. So twist your feet into the floor, tense your belly, push your toes down, and sit. And use those glutes to stand back up again. That is the thing that makes this structure so strong. So, if you can, let's make this even harder. Let's escalate this a little bit. Kick one leg out, sit, bounce up, swap legs, sit, bounce up, swap legs. One more. I don't know if you saw, but I could feel, and this is barely even a visual thing, I could feel my left hip isn't quite as structurally strong in that rotational element of making a structure in my hips. I've got to tune into that way more on this left leg. Right leg, I know it well. I just turn this muscle on a bit. It's not so it's making my hip externally rotate massively, but it's on. It's like this little switch that there's a little electrical impulse coming from here that makes that stuff work. So if we watch that again, I'll go one leg to the other. I'll start my weaker leg, start my left leg. I'm going to try and make this bum muscle out a bit more. It's better. It's all down to footprint or more. It's all down to your footprint as to whether or not you're going to be successful in that. If that footprint collapses, you're out. That's it, you've fallen over, it's done. You're out of it, you've fallen over, and that's cool because I enjoy a good fall over, and it's part of our learning experience that you should fall over a little bit, but learn this stuff so you can feel. So even just warming up, do those body weight squats with your toes pushed down, twist your feet into the floor like you're trying to tear the floor apart like this, but your feet don't go anywhere. So you sit and stand back up, sit and stand back up. And that lift from here is always on. And like everything, it's not just copying what I do, it's understanding it yourself and tuning into these muscles and really feeling what it is that you've got going on. So you can understand how to make a structure out of your body and make it so that you are really efficient, like super efficient. Okay, let's get into some spine stuff then, because this stuff is important. Without our spine, we are nothing. We can't do anything strong. So if you come down to all fours, here, that's it, perfect. So push your fingertips down, tuck your chin, come up into cat pose like this, tilt your back down, squeeze shoulder blades together and look up and try and hold this here. And scrunch up into it more, locked elbows, fingertips down, try and pull the floor towards your knees and keep pulling. Keep squeezing shoulder blades together and keep pulling. Breathe, drag the floor towards your knees, keep pulling. Locked elbows, keep looking up. Breathe. Feel your breathing apparatus have to breathe while all of this stuff here is all stretched out. And then push your chest up, pull your rib cage up, pull your belly button up. Try and curl around now, try and push the floor away from your knees. Keep pushing up higher, keep pushing up higher, keep pushing up higher. Hold, 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 lengthen, lengthen. Lengthen all the tissue down your back. And coming down, squeeze shoulder blades together. Look up, tuck your chin, shoulder blades up, rib cage up. Tailbone tucks under, back down, shoulder blades together. Look up, chin tucks, shoulder blades, rib cage, belly, lumbar spine, rib cage, shoulder blades, neck. Okay. There we go. So, all of this, these shapes that our spine does, are all important for every single one of the exercises we do. So if we talk about doing a plank, so if I'll get you set up into it from hands and knees, push your chest up as high as you can, pull your body into a hollow body, so you pull the bottom of your sternum down towards the belly button, tuck your toes, push heels together, tense your bum, try and drag your feet towards your hands, and pull. Push your chest higher, pull. Push fingertips down, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, going 3, 2, 1, down facing dog. So, try to burn out with this plank. Holding a plank for a minute like this isn't that useful. Holding it for any amount of time like this isn't that useful, because I'm not tensing my belly hard. I'm not trying to progress with anything, I'm just hanging here. I'm just going to hurt my wrists before I learn how to tense my belly harder. Just pull sternum to belly button, drag your feet toward your hands, glutes on, and ramp this tension up, push your chest higher, ramp this tension up, and 3, 2, 1, down facing dog. Let's go for one more of these. Let's try another load of tension. Push your heels together, push your fingertips down, lift your knuckles, drag your hands towards each other, and drag your feet towards your hands. Pull, 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 chest up higher, 3, 2, 1, down facing dog. Make you boiling. That's it. Ugh. So, let's go through all of the things that we're doing in that heavy plank. It's hard, should be really tough. So, I want you to think about, we're going to do this again in a second, you push your fingertips down, like you're trying to grip the floor, but you try and lift your knuckles up. So these knuckles here, lift. So you push with your fingertips to make these muscles on. You do this, look, you should be able to feel this little tweak from these muscles as you push your fingertips down, like you're trying to straighten your wrist out. But at the same time, you're pulling these knuckles back with these muscles. You've made a structure front to back. That's a structure that is strong and available for you to make all this strength. Okay, then you pull your hands towards each other, like this, but they're not going anywhere because your hands are on the floor. Makes your chest muscles engage. So if you just do that, push your hand inwards with your hand against your forearm, you'll feel this muscle turn on. This is part of the structure, part part of you being able to hold your body weight up in plank. Then you twist your hands into the floor like this, same as the squat, like you're trying to turn your fingers out and trying to close your armpits up. So watch my armpit, it's that. But I can do that without my hands turning, and it's hard work. But when you do that and connect to that, it makes this stuff here turn on tight. And then, so much stuff. Drag your hands towards your feet, like you're trying to shorten the floor. You're trying to drag the floor towards each other. All of that stuff on at the same time, in plank, until the wheels fall off, until your arms fall off, until you've burnt out, until you've spent everything you've got. Okay, you're different to me, so it's not for as long as I do it, it's as long as you can do it. If you can hold it for ages, you're not doing it right. I want you to escalate and escalate and escalate. When you're hulking out on this, you're like, oh, I'm trying so hard, that you eventually fail. And it's the failure that I'm after. Let's get this. Let's go. Hands down into plank. Fingertips down, knuckles up, hands towards each other, twist your hands into the floor, drag your hands towards your feet, push your chest higher, pull your sternum to your belly button, heels together, make your glutes on, and drag the feet towards your hands. Pull, pull, pull. 3, 2, 1. And have a little rest. Okay. That is a lot, and realise that there's so many things, and you might miss some of them. But you learn from just doing it and doing it and doing it and trying to get as many of those things in as you can. It's like that game, I forgot what the game show's called, where they've got the conveyor belt of stuff and there's like cuddly toy and a blender and stuff and it all comes past and then you've got to remember them all. It's that, except it's in your body. You're like, do a checklist of, I always start at the fingers. I push my fingertips, I pull my knuckles up. Pull my hands towards each other, I twist my hands into the floor. Drag my hands this way, I pull sternum to belly button, I turn my glutes on, and then I ramp up all of those things harder. And it's my brain, not my brain really, it's my central nervous system gets good at sending that message out to all those places at the same time. I'm then unstoppable. I'm bulletproof in that position. There's nothing that can change me, but I've only got so long. But it's progressive. If you do plank for a minute, and you get more efficient at just holding plank, like, what are you changing? You're not going to give yourself a six-pack from doing a plank. That isn't it. It's down to your diet and other factors and being in a calorie deficit enough to lose enough fat to be able to show your abs. It means nothing. This is your ability to talk to as many muscle groups as you can at the same time to make your stuff work nice. And then your stuff works nice. And then you're an athlete. Then you can do stuff, you can balance on your hands, you can do things. Okay, let's go for one more of these planks. And you're going to spend everything you've got on this plank, everything. And then we're going to press-ups and how to use this amount of tension for your press-ups. So, remember, push fingertips, pull knuckles, hands towards each other, twist your hands to the floor, pull your hands towards your feet, sternum to belly button, glutes on, and ramp all that stuff up. So, plank. Heels towards each other, push fingertips, pull knuckles up, hands towards each other, twist hands into the floor, drag your feet towards your hands, push your chest up higher, sternum to belly button, glutes on, pull, ramp up, pull, and ramp up. 3, 2, 1. And that's plank. And that's plank making it useful, because then you can ramp stuff up and you can send all these messages to all these different muscles at the same time. And there's no surprises, there's no things tweaking in your back because you're just kind of hanging and pressing stuff together that maybe isn't used to being pressed together. You make your stuff strong, you make it good by understanding what it is you're doing. Then if we flip this up onto your back hollow body, it's a position that can work for you as well. So, if we do hollow body, which is essentially if we do it standing up, pulling sternum to belly button, so your tailbone tucks under, and all of these muscles here turn on. It's the obliques, it's the abdominals, it's the whole thing. Reach your arms up and do this crunch. That's hollow body. We're going to do that lying on your back versus gravity. And you need to remember and listen to when I say it's your structure, not mine. You don't make it look like me, because you're not me. You're you. And you have your own stuff going on. And it's about you understanding how these muscles around here work. hug your knees into your chest and pull your chest towards your thighs. Push your heels together and reach your arms up. Feet up, point your toes and open out. Glutes on, lower back down. This stuff is on, you're pulling sternum to belly button. And you're in plank, essentially. Hold, hold, hold and breathe. Then come out. Oh, when you burn out. So, let's just think about that a little bit more. If you can breathe and tense your belly at the same time, it's a useful skill to have. Lie down on your back, heels together, hands against your knees, and push. And feel your abs on. Hands push against your knees, knees push against your hands. And breathe. But it's hard to be able to breathe and have abs on at the same time. It's tough. But in calisthenic skills, you need to be able to breathe and do the handstands and do the stuff at the same time. So, let's get this stuff on. So maybe try and do a little vacuum. So you pull belly button down through your spine, and then do a little crunch, and you'll feel that vacuum kind of goes. See if you can find all this tension here. Hold it on tight. Put your hands against your knees, push your heels together, and drive. Pull slowly back down. Drive, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's so tough. And then, have a little rest. Lie back, drop your head, pull your shoulders down away from the ears. Curl your chest up. Tuck your chin, heels together, reach feet up, hands up, and open out. Tense your glutes. Get this stuff on, slowly back down, hold, hold, hold. 3, 2, 1. That is it. That is how hollow body works, that is how plank works, and they are the same thing. Just gravity's turned over the other way, and you've got different muscles loaded up. So if your arms are loaded, it's different. If gravity's pointing down your hands, it's different. But that same thing happens, that you are in control of where your spine goes, which is what we did earlier on in the class where we did cat-cow. We worked out how to move your spine. It's the articulation to get it into its shape that makes a difference. Okay, let's do some fun stuff. Let's have a little go at learning how to do cartwheels. Now, my cartwheels aren't perfect. I'm not a gymnast. I'm a personal trainer with a love for calisthenics, which is like gymnastics really. But I know that I can teach this stuff to be able to get you to be able to load up your hands safely, and it might help you get over the fear of kicking up into handstands to get you upside down. So, if we start nice and easy, go kind of wide feet, I want you to put your hands at either side of one of your feet. So you go down, put your hands either side of one of your feet, just in front, then you swap hands. No, swap feet, sorry, so you go across, then back the other way. Back the other way. There we go. So you just got used to being able to have weight in your hands as your feet lift up. And it'll look different to mine because you've got different amounts of mobility and different amounts of strengths and weaknesses and history of movement and all of that stuff. But I want you to learn how to load up those hands just for a second so you can make yourself push the floor away. Okay, then let's go a little bit further with this. So your hands go right to the outside of this foot. So you might need to plant one hand down and then the other, and then push yourself over to try and do this big side step all the way over to the other side. So go in, hands down, all the way to the other side, stand back up, hands down, all the way over to the other side. And that's it, we're getting a bit further now. So let's do like a little set of 10 jumps. So it's 5 one side, 5 the other. It's going side to side, side to side. And it's good. So before we get into it, let's think about the structures that you're using. Your hip flexors are in compression, which means you're in a forward fold. So these muscles have to be on, and your abs need to know how to make those muscles contract and stay on. Right, let's get into this. So, hands either side of the other side of your foot, and you do a little hop across, and then hop back, hop across, hop back, hop across, go over 10 times. Going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Way more tiring than you think it should be. Hopefully you're getting a little bit braver at getting your feet off the floor and coming across and loading up these arms, and knowing that your skeleton has a structure. I talk a lot about making your muscles a structure and being able to make it stable from front to back, but essentially making your skeleton a structure, because as soon as your elbow's straight, those bones are loaded up and you're fine. You're good for that. Nearly all of us have the ability to lock our elbow and put weight through our hands. It's just whether or not your shoulders can stay stable enough, because those shoulder blades will shift. They've got a lot of mobility to be able to move around into these different shapes, and it a little bit comes back to being able to make tension here, that you can make tension through your arms no matter what shape they are in. Right, let's get into this a little bit braver this time. So you're going to go into a really childish, kind of rubbish cartwheel. So, when I say kind of rubbish, you're going to land way over there, but your feet aren't going to go over your head. You're going to go star shape, going down, and you stay in this star shape, you go over, and your feet just kind of travel around in a half circle around you, coming down, like that. And make it kind of rubbish. I know it looks awkward and terrible, but it's just getting you to be able to make this happen, and getting your spine to be able to do the thing can really help you getting your feet up overhead. So go arms up, go this way, crunch up here as you hit the floor, and around. That was a bit better. Coming up, coming down, or better again. I'm going to keep on doing that until you get brave enough to be able to go feet up and over, and keep yourself as upright as you can, so your feet travel over yourself like this, like a big kind of waterfall of hand, hand, foot, foot, and then back again the other way, hand, hand, foot, foot. Let's give a little go. So going hand, foot, foot, and then go the other way, hand, foot, foot. We're getting higher, so I realise these are still not that good in terms of cartwheels, but we're going to keep elevating them up and elevating them up and elevating them up until you get more comfortable. And if they still look like this, look, that's still a thing. Remember, it's still a thing. Everything is practice, everything is whatever you turn up with, that's what you're working with, and you tease a little bit more out. If that's all you've got to start with, you're not going to go into a full cartwheel first go. Be alright with what you've got and be brave about being able to move your body weight around. So, going hand, hand, foot, foot, back the other way, going hand, hand, foot, foot, hand, hand, foot, foot, hand, hand, foot, foot, hand, hand, foot, foot, hand, hand, foot, foot. Does that make sense? That you keep on getting better at getting those feet higher and higher, and you start getting your hips to be able to form, getting your spine to be able to do side bends. Just practice that. Hold on to your obliques and feel the strength of doing this to this, this to this, and that's got torque. It's got some power. So when your hand hits the floor, you've got to be strong here, and you have to almost articulate it out of this side bend into the other side bend the other way, which is hard to get your head around because it's a big, long movement. There's a lot going on. Okay, let's go for one more set of those. I'm going to stop saying hand, hand, foot, foot, because I think you get it now that your hands and then your feet hit the floor. You're going to practice, and you're going to play. And this is play, by the way. You're being childish. You're just playing around with whatever you've got. So whatever you turn up with is what you're working with. Not what I'm doing, it's what you're doing. And you're learning from what you're doing and making sure that your landings are nice so that you can learn to be more confident at playing and rolling around and falling over a little bit. Because falling over is fun if you allow yourself to fall over. Right, so arms up, make a star shape, pick this foot up, hit the floor with this foot, and then hit the floor with this hand. Hit the floor, and back the other way. Hit the floor, Last one. Oh, that was a terrible one to finish off with. They're fun. They're fun to play with, and also this can make us go a little bit further with this as well. That when we kick up into a handstand, I want you to have that stuff, those cartwheels, as your exit. Your exit's available to you however you want to do it. If you want to fall out one leg one way, one leg the other, you can get your feet to the floor and land safely so you don't topple over like, ooh, because that's terrible. When you land on your back like that, we don't want that. We don't want that. So let's have a little think about kicking up into this handstand. It's one of my favourite things to teach because it's fun. I like having fun where you get yourself upside down and you're like, I nearly got it. And there's more fun to be had when you nearly get it than when you actually get it. There is for me anyway. I enjoy that kind of nearly getting it. If I try and do a one-arm handstand, I can't do it. But if I catch that balance for a split second, I'm like, it's nearly there, I can nearly do it, but I can't. I like that little kid that shows you the rubbish cartwheel, and they're like, did you see that? That's how you do it. And then if you try and get an adult to do it, and they do a rubbish one, like, no, you've got to get your feet up. And the kid like thinks they're doing it, and they get excited because they're doing something. Get excited about doing something, and I promise you, training gets way more fun. Okay, let's go up into this, kicking up into handstand. We need to get into a running stance. So like this, 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. This back leg does the major part of work. It kicks up to get you moving. So bring your hands down, flat against your rib cage. And you swing this leg up first like this. Swing this leg up, and then the second leg punches up. And we're not going to balance, we're just going to try and get our hips over the top of our shoulders. Going up. You can't wheel out like that if you have to. That was a terrible handstand. I know, I can do better. Push your fingertips down, make structure out of your wrists. Kick up. There we go, that's what I like it. Kick up. Kick up. Kick up. You just keep trying to just get those hips up. And if you catch balance for a split second, you're having fun. Getting good at getting those hips over the top of your shoulders, and you have to allow yourself to be rubbish. I know it sounds weird, it sounds hard, but allowing yourself to do them where your hips don't move anywhere and you just kind of like, your legs are doing this on the floor, so it looks a bit like this, look. If you allow yourself to just go like that, as you get more confident, you will build on what you've got. Remember this, you're training what you turned up with. Whatever you brought today in your body, in all of this here, is what you turned up with, is what you're working with. And that's good, because you turned up and you're doing something. That's important, so that you don't get caught up in being like, I can't do it like him. I do this nearly every day. 7 days a week I do a handstand of some kind. And I'm still rubbish sometimes. I still like perform up here sometimes and I'm really good, and then sometimes I'm kind of middle, sometimes I'm tired and I have a bad day and I do 2 handstands and I'm like, that's it, done for the day, tired, got sore shoulders, been teaching spinning, I've been running, I've been with clients outside, inside. It's a hard job. So on those bad days where I've got nothing, I have a little play, quite happy to play, and I'm like, done for the day. I can feel like I'm going to hurt myself if I keep pushing myself, and then understand what it is I'm working with. I want you to understand what you've got and how to improve on what you've got, because you've just got whatever you turned up with. Okay, let's try this handstand kick up on the weak leg. So get into running stance, other way around. And inevitably these are going to be terrible for me because I'm really good at it on one leg, not so good on the other. And I think everyone's the same, but we can still do it. Get yourself into running stance. Thigh right up against your belly. Push fingertips down. Swing this leg up first. So feel your hips lift as you go like this. This is good glute work, by the way, making your bum muscles work. Push your fingertips into the floor. Swing, punch. Swing, punch. Every now and again, you do a little cartwheel to fall out of it. Falling over is allowed. It's encouraged to fall over just a little bit every now and again. And it's all right. We're good for that. We're good for a little fall over. I enjoy it. Okay. We'll go again. We're on 37. Right. Let's go into this. Fingertips push down. We'll kick ourselves up into handstand. Hands come down. Swing, punch. Swing, punch. Swing, punch. Swing, punch. And what I'm doing every time I do that is I'm feeling what's going on, what's giving up, what's stretching, what's contracting, and you get better at analysing your body. So I tell this story a lot about how I'm so switched on to my movement. I enjoy it, I kind of need it. When I draw, when I write, I'm like, how does my little finger feel against the page when I'm holding a pen? If I'm drawing and I'm drawing hair, I'm doing this, I'm like, how does that feel? When I make this line follow this line, and this line follows this line, and I feel how my hand brushes against the page, I enjoy that. I get this little feeling of repetitiveness, and I can change it a little bit, and I change how it feels different, how it's longer sometimes, faster, quicker, slower, whatever it is, and I change it, and change it, and change it. And I can do the same when I walk. I think about how my big toe, and it's only one big toe at a time. You can't do both because your mind's following too many things. But I feel how my big toe drags the floor underneath me. And it doesn't because it stays set and I move past the floor and then it steps forwards. But I feel like I'm trying to drag the floor underneath me and it makes me walk a little bit quicker. And I tune into that and I change it a little bit. I tilt it the other way, and I can feel these very fine little changes. Much like, and I use this analogy a lot, how a really good guitarist, when they put their fingers against the strings, they can tell what string their finger is on. A little bit from touch, a little bit from how thick that string is, a little bit from how high or low it is, which fret it's on. All of that stuff becomes second nature so that you can control your body and change stuff. And I'm doing that when I'm doing handstands. I'm like, what's my belly doing? What's my belly doing? And every time I kick up, I'm like, can I hold it a bit tighter? Can I hold it a bit tighter? And then inevitably I'll do something too much and it'll fall apart and I need to start again. I'm like, all right, what are my fingertips doing? I'll change my focus to another part that's part of the structure. And that nerdy thinking about everything is exhausting, but it makes me good at stuff. So when I do handstand push-ups, I'm good at understanding what it is that I'm doing, and I can feel the twist, the push, the pull, all of that stuff that we did while we were in plank. I'm doing that constantly and I'm scanning stuff and I get better at it the more I do it. Obviously, we get better at everything that we do the more we do it. But please, have a little go tuning into what you've got. It gets exciting. I get excited about it. When I can teach a client, when I've got PT clients one-on-one and they get this stuff and they're like, yeah, I felt it, I changed it, and it made me feel stronger. I connected to it more. So it's not just that you do constant kick-ups until you manage to magically go up and you find balance, and then you wobble for a bit, but you found balance, and then you drop back down. It's not that. It's your ability to know where your shoulder lives, and know where your spine lives, know where your hips live, know where your feet live, and be able to turn all of that stuff on at the same time. Boom. You've got calisthenic skills, whatever the movement is, whatever it is, whether it's front lever, pull-ups, a static thing like handstands or headstands, being able to tune in that makes a difference. Okay, let's just have a little go at this really hard little thing that I've practiced a lot over the years, and I keep leaving. I've left it alone for a little bit now because it's so hard and so exhausting. I'm going to bring it back into my training, and maybe you can start learning to get better at it. It's a plyometric planche press up. Tough. Let's get this. Push your fingertips into the floor in plank. And we'll kind of wide feet. And drop down. Lift your feet. Lift your feet. Lift your feet. so hard. And it's trying to get the posterior chain to turn on as you push through the floor, you lift your feet, you push through the floor, you lift your feet, and it's timing. It's just timing and a bit of being strong. But you've got to be able to like get really specific. So specific down to minute detail. Okay, try that again. I'm going to do this way so I can have a look sideways to see how high my feet are going. That's all I've got of them. About 3 or 4 before the wheels start turning off, falling off. Can't even talk. It's hard. Okay, then let's finish off with a little bit of wrist maintenance. Go palms down, palms back, palms down, palms back. Don't let your fingers turn. Try and get this 90 degrees. Feel this stuff work. If your forearms and wrists get achy with doing all this calisthenic stuff, which is it happens a lot, it's very likely to happen because it's a lot of load through your wrists. Make these muscles strong enough to stretch these muscles and you pretty much won't have an issue. They need to be able to own this. So you pull forearms on tight to be able to pull these knuckles back, down and back up, down, back up, down and back up. And that'll do us for calisthenic skills. That has been it's been so fun. I enjoyed that. Very talky, I know, but it's how I like it, and I want you to be able to play and understand and how to progress your stuff to be able to do more and more the more you turn up. So I'm back again at 10 a.m. tomorrow for senior yoga. I'll be at home in my lovely house. It's going to be free. It's National Fitness Day. So you can share it, get it out there, like invite all your friends, invite people, and I'll look forward to seeing you do some nice home yoga with me for any ability, any age. You don't have to be senior to enjoy senior yoga. All right, thanks guys, appreciate you all. See you soon, bye.